Alright, budget magic time. Playing some zombies in modern. And we got some grave crawlers. Not much else, but this is kinda okay. Grave crawlers can do some work. They are hard to kill. Hopefully we're playing Dredge and we just randomly Bajuka Bog our opponent. Alright, so Swamp and Grave Crawler. Pass the turn. See what our opponent's up to. Scalding Tarn. And passes. Well, let's get in with Gravecrawler. Play another Gravecrawler. Play Evolving Wilds and pass the turn. Opponent gets a Breeding Pool. Untapped Steam Vents. And Young Pyromancer. Well, we probably got to kill that. There's a Gitaxian Probe down to 13. Well, luckily we have a Doomblade for Young Pyromancer. Opponent passes. Well, crack our Evolving Wilds. Get a Swamp. Jeez, all the Grave Crawlers. Well, kill Young Pyromancer. Attack with both. Opponent blocks. So, Llanowar Waste and let's just Gravecrawler from the graveyard. Pass turn. Hopefully our opponent does not have Anger of the Gods. Anger of the Gods is a blowout against our Gravecrawlers. Otherwise, we just keep attacking. Another Young Pyromancer. Opponent passes. Well, let's attack with both. Play Diregraph Colossus. Bajuka Bog our opponent. Pass the turn. Feels like we're kind of ahead at the moment. Opponent cracks Misty. They're down to 6. Steam Vents tapped. The other problem our opponent has is if we start casting Grave Crawlers with Diregraph Colossus on the battlefield. Alright, so our opponent manages to kill our Diregraph Colossus. I guess they're going to go race mode. Steam Vents tapped. Gets in with both. Interesting. Down to 15. We draw another land. Well, let's get in with both Grave Crawlers. Opponent blocks. We Grave Crawler. We Grave Crawler. Hissing Quagmire. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent, what do you got? They need something pretty good this turn, I think. Opponent gets in with both. Oh, they must have a Wrath of some kind. Hopefully it's not Anger of the Gods. Wow. We draw a Doomblade. Well, let's play the Swamp. Fire up Hissing Quagmire. Swing with everything. Gravecrawler beatdowns. Is it good enough? Opponent's going to Vapor Snag Hissing Quagmire. Make a token. Down to 2 cards. Do they have more instants? Snapcaster Mage. Oh, what a card to have. Alright. Well, we could be in trouble. Opponent gets a Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's a Gravecrawler. Blocks with both tokens. Well, let's kill Young Pyromancer. Whoa, really? Oh, the Royal Flush! Oh, wow. Alright, now we are likely dead. Our opponent had it all and then some. Yeah, I'm not sure how we win now, honestly. And we draw a land. Alright, well, that was something. Our opponent had... They had to have 3 meaningful cards in their hand, and they had all 3, so... Can't do much about that. Sometimes people have good cards. Well, against this deck, I guess we want Disfigure, possibly Duresses, and maybe even Brindlebore. Withered Wretch also fights the graveyard. So I think we can bring in a couple Withered Wretch over a Putrid Leech and a Colossus. Go down a Dismember for the Disfigure. Go down a couple of 3-drops for a couple Duresses and try it like that. Oh boy. Felt like we were in good shape there, too, for just drawing all 1-drops. Alright, we get to play first. And this hand has some removal spells, but that's about it. So, Swamp and Diagraph Ghoul. Pass the turn. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Cracks it. Stomping Grounds untapped. Our opponent does like shocking themselves. Kills our 1-drop. We get Cemetery Reaper. Well, Land of War Waste, so we can leave up Doomblade. Pass the turn. See how much removal our opponent has. Island for our opponent, Young Pyromancer. Well, let's Doomblade Young Pyromancer. Untap, Forest, and Cemetery Reaper. Pass the turn. So if our opponent kills this, then hopefully we can resolve Diagraph Colossus is a 4/4, which will be hard for our opponent to burn out. Another land for our opponent. Cracks Misty. And Scavenging Ooze. And activates our Diagraph. Well, let's see what we draw here. Hissing Quagmire. Well, I guess we just exile Young Pyromancer, make a 3/3, play a Quagmire, pass the turn. Opponent attacks. I think we got to take it for now. We don't want our opponent to be able to like Lightning Bolt Cemetery Reaper, eat the Cemetery Reaper, 2-for-1 us with Ooze. Serum Visions for our opponent. Delver of Secrets. And passes. Well, let's attack with both. Yeah, let's attack with one. Play Hissing Quagmire and just pass the turn, leave up our Dismember. So what we're looking for is like Dismember something. Opponent gets a Forked Bolt. Plays a Wooded Foothills. Cracks a Wooded Foothills. Plays a Mountain. Forked Bolts. So let's Swamp and Dismember Scavenging Ooze. And then eat Scavenging Ooze. Make a 2/2. So Lord down. Opponent gets in with Delver. Down to 9. Well, let's see what else they have. Gitaxian Probe. Sees our Colossus and our Diagraph Ghoul. And passes. Alright, let's attack with both zombies. Put our opponent... Ooh, they're going to Snapcaster. Okay, Snapcaster Mage. Going for Lightning Bolt. Kills a zombie. And trades with the zombie. Sure. So we, 1, 2, 3, Diagraph Colossus as a 3/3. Cast a Diagraph Ghoul. And pass the turn. So in theory, Cemetery Reaper could be lethal next turn if our opponent doesn't have blockers. We'll see. I mean, I don't have any faith that our opponent has no removal and no blockers. They would have to have none of that stuff. But there's a chance. Also, just like a Doomblade for Delver would be nice. Opponent gets in, 4/3, down to 6. The scarier part is we're getting to the point where we could die to a Bolt. Okay, opponent goes with Atarka's Command, down to 2. Alright, well, sometimes you get top decked.